Good evening, my friends. This is Hardgebard. Hardgebard. I thought I would share some of my poetry with you. My poor matter, my poetry, my poetry. So, here is some. This one is called The Theorist, Judith Butler Speaks English. LOQUITUR En Hardgebardus, mundus sive puella quidem procax put this man in hell for being a stirrer up of strife. Where's no bra? Eccola. Shall I dig her up again? The scene is at her castle, Berkeley. The problem is so big. 1a, Homin. We sometimes apply our understanding of American life to the rest of women in the world. 1b, Hodet. But women are oppressed in many different ways. Our understanding of feminism is influenced by our surroundings. Thinking about what a woman is shows us that we can change what she is. We are stuck in the system. The world is made of actions and words, so we can't get away from the current system, only analyze it. Marx said the present is important, so let's start there. I will try to understand how our laws make us feel about ourselves, so let's reconsider what it means to be a woman. Feminists need to think again about what it means to be a woman to make our politics better. They also need to say that a single female identity doesn't exist. Our understanding of woman is not helpful to women. Again, this problem is so big. What is a woman in a heterosexual world? We need to do away with traditional roles. I use the word genealogy to show you that I've read Foucault. Let's now do some genealogy of the ideal woman. Sex and gender are different things. My enemies think that sex probably has something to do with biology and that gender is influenced by culture. I mean, they also say gender always existed, so that actually means there is no difference between the two. If biology is influenced by gender, gender is not just some cultural thing. I mean, gender is just our interpretation of biology. Biology is made of laws. Gender is the tool that produces biology. The parallel pairs gender is to things we do as biology is to things that we are wrong. I will now use the word discursive to show you that I've read Foucault. Gender discursively produces the natural biology that we attempt to interpret. Okay, so how should we define gender? So do we have a gender, or are we a gender? Does the culture that shapes gender imply norms which limit action and change? How and where does the culture that shapes gender take place? Some bad people think gender ought to abide by fixed cultural norms. If culture shapes gender, then it is subject to laws. This would be as bad as gender shaped by biology. Sartre's girlfriend said that you were not born, but become a woman. She agrees with me, sex is gender. The role culture calls to mind is the age-old question of free will. If we have no free will, bodies are pieces of paper that culture draws on. But the body itself is a product of culture, so when is a body? How can we make the body active? Now, things are about to get real hard. A French cultural theorist once said that women are a kind of paradox when we start dishing out our feelings with each other. Women both exist and don't exist. Language is just bad penis logic and doesn't get us. In other words, men don't get who we are. Sartre's girlfriend and another French theorist said that the woman is the enemy which bad penis logic needs to rule the world. For Sartre's girlfriend, women are the opposite of men. Men compare themselves with them to understand themselves better. The theorist says the system, hero, enemy, is bad. What is stuff really like, and what does it have to do with sex? Some women people say a person is a mix of different stuff. So gender would be like a thing stuck to the core human essence that knows and speaks. But French theorists say that this is wrong, since all the stuff is influenced by culture. So, gender isn't a quality, but where some cultural and old stuff ideas meet. The other French theorists says that the human core itself is just a boogeyman of bad penis logic. So a woman is a subject that isn't one. See how I cleverly picked up on the paradox above mentioned. So basically women do not exist. Again, Sartre's girlfriend agrees with me. Men can't fairly answer questions about women since they're involved with them. If gender is the words that describe a body, then it isn't a product of the body. I basically mean that gender and sex don't have to match. Like some men are women, some women aren't even women. The difference man-woman isn't so logical, I guess. Also, even if there are only two sexes, there can still be more than two genders. Thinking that there are only two sexes is bad, because it means there must be a relationship between gender and sex, which is bad. I repeat, some men are women, some women aren't even women. Sartre's girlfriend and the other theorist disagree about gender. His woman girlfriend uses a bad and old idea. The Hodette theorist says that the bad old idea is just bad penis logic again. Even if the theorist rightly shows that old ideas are just bad penis logic, she goes too far. Is there a universal masculine? I mean, telling an Afghani woman she is oppressed is just applying Western penis logic to her problems. That basically makes us colonizers. Anyways, people disagree about gender and the role of culture and categories of sexes. We need new ideas about how we think about gender. Western philosophy is hierarchical, so that means that the mind-body distinction is sexist. For Sartre's girlfriend, the subject is a man. The Cartesian subject is a sexist because of bad penis logic. For women to be free, we have to take away our bodies from the bad penis logic thinking. She asks, how does universal personhood appear as masculinity and femininity as negation? This duality, master-slave dialectic, I read Hegel, anticipates the other theorists' subject-other duality. In conclusion, Sartre's girlfriend says that women need bodies to be free, but unfortunately women don't exist. She can't escape the Cartesian subject. Using the writings of a man is a bad penis logic trap. I have read a book by Foucault. Prisoners' bodies had to represent the means of punishment. We don't see laws as things because we live according to them. The important French theorist says, we have souls. The soul is the mental sum of things that happen to your body because of other people. So the soul is just a social thing that seems personal, but it ain't. Now I will reverse a common idea to seem profound. The soul is the prison of the body. Gender is a function of social power. But who are the enemies? Who's the sheriff around these parts? Gays were seen as bad because heterosexuality is repressive. People want children, but I am gay. I mean, gender is more open among gays. Gays show that gender is a repressive social law. Identity is fantasy, but it's complicated and it needs to be made more understandable. We use the body to do this. This occurs socially. We do gender, and our bodies are made by our actions. Our soul is social. We are influenced by our surroundings, and this makes it difficult to understand how much of ourselves is a free subject. Gender is a product of law to limit sexual behavior, which is dominated by heterosexual people. The fact that we are used to a system often makes it hard to criticize its laws. Gender is pretty cool. Now, anthropologists know that people imitate each other. This also influences gender. By the way, someone I cited in this essay also likes drag queens. They really blur the lines, boy howdy, they even make fun of norms. But some people say men acting like women is not respectful to women, and even bad, because they exclude women who aren't like other women, like me. So imitation is complicated. It also shows that how we view our personal beliefs in relation to society has to change. Drag queens are funny because they don't appear to be men anymore, but what is really important is personal belief and societal expectations. If his sex is different from his gender, and both are different from his behavior shows a difference between both his gender and the way others understand it. Drag queens show that gender is complicated by going against heterosexual norms. Now, we all have role models, but the system's role models are bad. Drag queens show that gender is made and done according to these bad role models. Drag queens also show the universal woman that they imitate doesn't actually exist. Let me again emphasize that there is no nature. Parody is funny, pastiche is not. Postmodernism confirms the above. But what makes parody funny? Subversiveness. We need subversive drag queens to help women be free. By the way, human norms create biology and also other norms. Norms also produce bodies. All causes are effects. In conclusion, gender is body language and clothing. Be incredible. Thank you for your attention. Ex eant omnes.